So we're gonna start off using Ian as our model for our forehand. And we're gonna shoot, I'm gonna use him and I'm gonna use mine, but I wanna explain some differences based on the conversation we just had as far as what you wanna work on. So, very first move you're gonna see Ian doing after he's in a ready position, he's gonna do his unit turn. And a lot of stuff, again, you do a really good job, but I just wanna kind of hit over the main points. And with the unit turn, he's turning his shoulder and his outside leg in one unit. It's kind of different here because he's moving kind of to hit a slightly ball that's on his backhand side, or probably in the middle of the court. So he's having to move around the ball, but he's still doing this all in one motion. Getting his racket up, and he's preparing. As he prepares for the downward swing, you can see his legs a little bit loaded. The racket's gonna drop. And from this pulling position, you're gonna see how he starts activating, pushing against the ground, using his hips, in turn using his shoulders. So that push, which is bring the racket around, to hear contact. This again is what you do really well. The three kind of areas that I want to point out is here, here, and here. How they're moving together to get you to contact. And then you can see him finish all the way around. Okay, and then I want to go to yours, and then we're going to come back and use mine. This is one of your forehands. You do a great job again, turning, unit turn. You're stepping into the court, your racket's about to drop. So you can see those kind of points I just point out. Boom, boom, boom. Pretty much in almost the same position. And then the follow through comes around. A little bit of tension there. The difference here is that this is one of those balls that, like you talked about, you want to hit a little bit heavier, hit a little bit bigger, and then you started trying to do a little bit more. So the same thing starts to happen, and I'm going to let it roll through, and you can see how a lot more tension, you can see how the swing kind of curved around. And we're going to go back to bringing up the 3 points first of all. And so when I look at this point, not so bad, but this one starts to lag. And so for me, that's a signal of you're starting to use one more than the other. Mainly the upper portion is moving faster than the lower portion. But the lower portion, it's what provides the power. So there's a little bit of what I think of out of alignment, where Ian's using everything together and making contact and generating speed. You're starting to, I want to swing faster, and then the hand and shoulder starts moving faster than the hip.
Yep.
And then at the end, we add a lot of tension, thinking, I think the word you said, I want to hit the ball heavier. This is going to provide that extra spin. And the thing about it is you have to see that the ball's already left the racket here. So anything you do here has no relevance to what the ball's going to do. And so the ball's already gone, and then now you're kind of adding that heaviness, okay? Compared to where you saw Ian have kind of more of a natural deceleration of the racket, because he's created this momentum of pulling the racket up and around. So he's just letting it kind of go through where you're hanging on, kind of muscling it. The reason I'm going to show you mine is because
because he likes to see himself on camera.
I'm glad you all chimed in.
Yeah,
That went through my head.
it's a little bit different because I'm trying to hit the ball. I'm on the run. I'm going to use my legs a little bit more. It's a little bit more dynamic in the sense of me trying to impart more on the ball. But what I want you to pay attention to isn't so much of me kind of running around.
It's probably important to point out your style, relative to ours as well.
My general style is to hit the ball with more racketed speed, more spin, to create that, what you're talking about, heavy ball effect. And because of that, you can see here, I'm just a little bit more using my legs. But what I really want you to notice is that I'm going to really accelerate my hands and my racket. But at the same time of me accelerating, you can really see how everything is moving together. So you see this? Yeah. And just because I was speeding the racket up, I didn't lose the alignment that I had here. So relatively speaking, when you swing it like 50% and you're just rallying, everything looks really good. This is the very first stroke we saw. The timing, the alignment's good. It's like you're saying, when you start to accelerate, you're losing that alignment, you're losing that timing, and then you're trying to add this heaviness onto the ball. So you can see my vertical path coming up on the ball, and then you see how my racket comes around. Yeah.
The part that does add the heaviness, Jeff, is a combination of how low below the ball Kevin comes before contact, and then how much force he's imparting upwards through the point of contact. Whereas you're coming more lateral to the ball, using more of your upper body to hit it, and then trying to add on like a circular part to the tail end, which is not actually doing anything to the ball.
No. So our goal isn't to change your basic mechanics, because they're very good, but is to teach you how to accelerate without losing the alignment and taking away some of that tension, the extra muscling that you do at the end of it. The very first thing I want to work on is just the tension part at the end. And I don't think that's going to take a long time, because I think you're consciously trying to like manipulate the swing to create heaviness. So I think since you're already doing it in your normal swing, I don't really think that's going to take that long, but I just want to make sure we go over it. Does that make sense? Yep. So all I want you to do is basically shadow your normal swing a couple times and really focus on, as you're shadowing at the end here, to continue to loosen up. There's 3 phases in the swing, and you do the first 2 really well, meaning that the preparation and then the acceleration. But once we make contact with the ball, everything's about decelerating and relaxing to let everything come around, not creating more tension. So as you're going through the shadows, I really want you to focus on, just start off really slow. Think of prep, acceleration, and just relaxing. Your body is going to drive the swing compared to what you were doing before, having your swing kind of take over. Okay? So it'll look just like this. Start off really slow right now. I just want you to really feel yourself relaxing, and there's really no tension in this part of your arm. It's really that your hip is literally throwing your arm around. Okay? The reason I want to do this a little bit is because we're going to slowly increase the shadow swing, because your normal swing path is really good. Again, I'm looking at those 3 kind of markers that we had before. That's kind of our reference as we continue to go forward and look at this.
Yep.
And that looks really good. Let's do the same thing now. Question for you is, what percentage do you think that swing speed is for you?
Swing speed.
Like,
Yeah.
How would you rate that from 1 to 10 as far as like you feel like when you're really trying to juice up the ball?
That?
2? Yeah, 2. Okay, so now I want you, because I want to slowly work on incrementally increasing the speed without losing the fundamentals, because that's what's basically happening. So let's go to a 5. Let's have you swing at about a 5 shadow swing. Okay. So this is where you were before. And if we look at those 3, boom, that looks good. That's there, but we see how far this one's behind. Yeah. Here, where your hips further in front. It's kind of hard to tell a little bit, but you can also tell just a little bit where the Under Armour sign is, a little bit further behind. Let's, I want to do where you do 2 shadows. I'm going to let you hit 1 ball, and we're going to go back and forth from that. Really focus on the process of swinging a 5 using your hips to generate your swing. I'm not really trying to get you to juice the ball. We're just slowly easing you into using a ball, really focusing on the hip work, okay? Exaggerate, good. Exaggerate, good. Okay, 2 more shadows. Exaggerate those hips. Good, okay. Good. Yeah, that's good. And if kind of, it's good there, good there. And what I'm looking for is the hips continue to move a little bit. Yeah. That's really good. So now we're going to go up to a 7. Now here's the thing. With the 5 already, I feel like your pace is increased without you're swinging a 5, but the actual pace of the ball has increased because you're using more of your muscle. So I want you to continue to have this feeling of like, I'm going to swing faster from here, not from here. It's not that your rackets necessarily you're trying to muscle it through. Your hips are going to move faster this exaggeration is going to happen faster, not so much your racket has to swing faster. Okay, so you do 3 shadows at a 7, and then we're going to do 2 balls.
Okay.
And really exaggerate that hip. Good, good, good. Okay, keep the relaxation. Okay, so let's see what you do when you start adding in the ball. It's really good. For your first one, hips moving through.
It's really good.
Yeah. Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, snap. It's starting to look like Kevin.
Just like Kevin.
Or Ian.
It's okay, I know the truth.
Yeah, I'm now looking at that and looking at what you're doing now is so apparent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hips forward.
Yeah. That's, yeah,
Yeah.
it's awesome.
Contact's better.
Yeah. So now what we're going to do is have Ian feed you balls from the other side. Totally different look again. You're going to do, yeah. We're going to have you, let's see, do 2 shadows, and he's going to feed you 2 balls. Same at the 7. We're going to really hang out the 7. I don't think there's really any need to go kind of bigger than that because there's other elements we want to kind of touch up on. But right now, I think 7 for you is really good. And the more efficient you get, you're going to feel like, wow, I don't have to work as hard, and I get a bigger result on the back or the front end without having to worry about like losing a lot of the consistency, because that's what we want to keep.
Yeah.
Execution is pretty high.
Mm-hmm. That was good.
Good job, Jeff.
Good job.
Good.
What do you think about those overall?
Better.
Yeah.
No, I'm just trying. I'm trying to shut my mind off
Mm-hmm.
to actually do it. So I'm almost there. Part of it, I'm focusing on. I think if I focus on hitting the ball further out in front of me,
Mm-hmm.
it gets the hip going because I can't reach without.
That's a
getting
good
it
point.
there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Whatever you kind of latch onto,
yeah.
that's perfect.
So I was trying something else other than move the hip,
Yeah.
just to add on to it a little bit.
So this is the first one.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, we got jammed on that one. Yeah. It's good. All the things we talked about. Yeah. Boom, boom, boom. And at the end. Good. Yeah. It's just it's so much, it's just the position's so much stronger.
Yeah.
Just seeing you do that with your hip.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's move you back.
Ah.
Woo!
Good.
9
shadow swings.
And 1 drop feed.
He doesn't know. He's moving a lot faster than most people. Nice, nice. 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 Starting to get a little bit of a rhythm there.
Almost.
Almost.
Baby steps. Baby steps.
Baby steps.
Look at that.
Yeah. This racket path looks really good. Just continue to focus on. Yes, good. What I keep looking for is how these things are moving together.
looks so much smoother and
Yeah.
athletic when you're moving everything at the same time.
This is this is a really good one.
Yeah, it's really good.
Have you shadowed 2 times? Yeah, we're never done. Okay. Better. Good. Good.
Nice.
So here's the last one you did. A little light there. Behind there. Yep, that's not the one. That was better, but still a little late. The trick, I think, for you right now is still, as you want to accelerate more, is that the faster you accelerate and make those big jumps,
Yeah.
the easier it is for the timing to be off. This is the set slightly before, and you're finding it. It's just finding that rhythm. This is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing here. And so that's the trick, I think, for now. Going home, practicing, try to keep it, even though the goal is to get at that higher level, maybe start at a 6 and work that at 6. And then after you feel like you're comfortable with the 6, go to 7. And that way there's not such a big jump, because what we want to do is, already you're hitting the ball harder, but the key trick is to make sure the timing stays the same between those 3 elements.
Yep.
And this is what you started with.
Are you doing before and after?
And this is just the set before.
Nice.
Oh, that's really nice.
You can see how your body's kind of working against itself here.
Yeah.
It's like getting stuck on this end, and so your body's getting stuck on this end, and so you're having to try to make up for it on
I'm sorry.
this end, because energy is just not flowing through your body smoothly.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like they're so independent of each other.
Yeah.
Looks so together and smooth.
Yeah, just you can tell you're driving from your legs to create the racket acceleration.
Almost athletic.
Almost athletic. Good job.
All right, cool. Thanks.